Celtic Badass of the Week showcases a person of Celtic heritage each week. Those who exemplify the give no shit attitude and come out on top. They may come from our past or our present, but rest assured they come from all walks of life and legend. They are men, women, even old ladies and pirate queens. Now you don't have to be a muscled up Celt in a fur kilt swinging a mighty sword. You can just be a 4'11" Welsh woman and suffragette who knows jujitsu. Now most of these badasses are all too real, and while some of these are only legend, they're badass legends. The only prerequisite is Celtic blood and badassedness. Lady Christain Bruce. Lady Christain Bruce, sometimes referred to as Christina, lived from 1273 to 1357, an older sister of Robert de Bruce and Edward de Bruce. And this badass lady played an active and integral part in the War of Independence against the English. Lady Christain was the second of 10 children born to Robert de Bruce, 6th Lord of Annandale, and Marjorie, Countess of Carrick. In an unusual twist on what was probably a fairly common medieval story, her mother Marjorie had kidnapped and held Robert prisoner at Turnberry Castle until he agreed to marry her. Sounds like Lady Christian's mom was a badass too. Now their wedding took place in 1271, and the following year their first child Isobel was born. Christian followed a year later, and Robert, later known as Robert de Bruce, appeared that year after that. The Lady Christian married her first husband, Gartnet, Earl of Mar, in about 1295. He seems to have died sometime after 1300 though. And Christian married, again, Sir Christopher Seton. The Wars of Independence, they were viciously fought, and following the defeat of Robert de Bruce in 1306, Lady Christina was captured by the English at Tain while fleeing to safety in Orkney. Other female relatives captured at the same time were imprisoned in cages, and her husband and 2 of her brothers were executed. The Lady Christina herself was imprisoned at the Gilbertine Nunnery at 6 Hills in Lincolnshire. She never denied who she was, but she convinced her captives she was destined for service to God as a nun, and they believed her. She would stay there until after Robert de Bruce's victory at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. Sometime later, Christian married her third husband, Sir Andrew Murray. Now, Sir Murray was an appointed guardian of Scotland after the death of Robert de Bruce in 1329, and played a leading role in the Second War of Independence against Edward III of England, who wanted to place Edward Balliol on the Scottish throne. In 1335, English forces under David de Strathbogie, Earl of Atholl, besieged Kildrummy Castle in Aberdeenshire. Most of the men capable of commanding a defense of the castle were away, so the defenders were commanded by Lady Christina Bruce. Now she took command and led her forces into a pitched battle. She knew that this castle could be used to quell the fire for independence. The badass Lady Christian and her warriors held out until forces commanded by Sir Andrew Murray could return north and defeat David de Strathbogie at the Battle of Coblin on the 30th of November 1335. Now Lady Christian, she was well respected for her role in preserving the cause of independence, and dispelled any qualms that she was anything but a badass. She continued to play an important role in Scottish politics until her death in 1357 at the age of 84.